Hello friends, I am BK. Welcome to Internationalleaks. Today we will discuss conflict between Russia and Ukraine and all the world leaders threatening Russia, and we'll know what are they saying. Don't skip the video, watch till the end. Let's begin. American President Joe Biden has informed Ukrainian President Zelensky that a Russian invasion of Ukraine is very certain and that they should prepare for the impact. This was in a telephone conversation between both leaders. In this video, you can see Russia started deployment of aerospace force and 2 more air defense systems towards the area near Ukraine. France and Germany met in Berlin to discuss Ukraine crisis. NATO says it's sending extra troops. US warns Belarus of decisive response if assists Russian invasion of Ukraine. And Biden says he would consider sanctioning Putin directly if Russia invaded Ukraine. French President Macron says France and Germany united on need for Ukraine. Macron wants Russia will pay very heavy price if Ukraine attacked, and he says he will talk with Putin on phone over Ukraine on Friday. Senior US officials say Russia's sanctions will include export cuts on high-tech equipment including AI and quantum computing. Meanwhile, Ukraine says it has dismantled Russia-backed criminal group that was preparing attacks. Few hours later, Russia launches new military drills in South Crimea, and Russian army has started making combat readiness inspection in its southern military district, which borders Ukraine, with more than 6,000 troops. Kremlin expresses great concern over US troops on high alert. Russian foreign minister says no positive response from US on main security question over Ukraine, but response gives hope for start of question conversation on secondary questions. Lavrov says the Secretary General of NATO lost touch with reality and his statements are difficult to take seriously. NATO is considering sending additional forces to Eastern Europe to put pressure on Russia. Turkey President Erdogan says Turkey will continue to fulfill its obligations as a NATO ally. There is no room for hesitation on this issue. Erdogan informed that he invited Russian President Vladimir Putin to Turkey for a bilateral meeting. Now China also wants US. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said Russia's security concerns over growing tensions in Europe over Ukraine should be taken seriously. All parties should completely abandon the Cold War and form a balanced, effective, sustainable European security mechanism through negotiation. Germany working on a strong package of sanctions for Russia if it invades Ukraine, covering aspects including Nord Stream 2 pipeline. US warns of global security risks of Russia aggressions in Ukraine. And Russia will not rush to conclusions on US security reply, says Kremlin. Russia has stated that it will cooperate with China in any military response inside Ukraine. So China and Russia have come together to fight against US and NATO. Croatian president threatens withdrawal of force from NATO if conflict with Russia escalates. Croatian president says we will have nothing to do with it. I guarantee you that not only will we not send military, but if there is an escalation, we will recall every last Croatian military man. So Croatia is out of the game and does not want involved in conflict. Pentagon says Russians have no intention right now of de-escalating and no daylight with European allies on Ukraine standoff. Kremlin expresses great concern over US troops on high alert, and Russian army has started making combat readiness inspection in its southern military district, which borders Ukraine, with more than 6,000 troops. Russia also launches new military drills in South Crimea. Ukraine says it has dismantled Russia-backed criminal group that was preparing attacks. US says Russia sanctions would include curbs on high-tech equipment including AI, quantum computing. Macron says to hold phone talks with Putin on Friday and warns Russia will pay very heavy price if Ukraine attacked. He added France, Germany united on need for Ukraine de-escalation. US also warns Belarus decisive response if assists Russian invasion of Ukraine. And NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg announces NATO will not send combat troops to Ukraine. Kremlin says sanctions on Putin would be destructive, and a Russian official says Russia may deliver weapons to separatists held Donetsk and Luhansk in Ukraine over growing threat. Ukraine says Russian troops build up insufficient for major attack. Germany to ship 5,000 military helmets to Ukraine amid tensions with Russia. The US Embassy in Ukraine urged American citizens to consider departing now, saying that the security situation is unpredictable due to increased threat of Russian military action. US Deputy Secretary of State Sherman says every indication Putin plans to use military force against Ukraine by mid-February. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken says US had delivered written response to Russia's security demands. No concessions made from US or NATO on key Russian demand that Ukraine be barred from joining alliance. It simply means US and NATO are cracking jokes in written response. And checks to donate 4,000 artillery cells to Ukraine, says Defense Minister. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin has stated that Russia will mobilize naval forces in Latin America if NATO does not completely back down. Stoltenberg says Russian deployments of combat-ready troops, S-400 missile defense system and aircraft to Belarus is significant. Russia has history of using exercises as pretext, a disguise for aggressive military actions. Now Russia, Ukraine, France, Germany agree to hold new talks in 2 weeks on Ukraine conflict. Kremlin invoice says Russia-Ukraine talks not simple. New round to be held in Berlin in 2 weeks. And Canada extends military operation in Ukraine for 3 years. US State Department says Nord Stream 2 will not move if Russia invades Ukraine, and Russia has stated that it will cooperate with China in any military response inside Ukraine. So Russia and China will go on war against US and NATO. Russian Foreign Minister says no positive response from US on main security question over Ukraine, but response gives hope for start of a serious talk on secondary questions. Soon Russian President Vladimir Putin and Turkey President Erdogan going to meet. Putin accepted Erdogan's invitation to visit Turkey. Ukraine Foreign Minister says no objections from Ukraine to US respond to Russian security demands. Lithuania says US has deployed F-15 fighters to an Estonian airbase. The UK fears a restriction of Russian gas supplies in response to planned sanctions. The country is exposed to record prices and a gas and petrol crisis. For more leaks, subscribe our channel International Leaks. Thanks for watching.